Wow. Guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing something a little bit different. We are going to react to Elizabeth from the charismatic voice. I nearly got her name wrong then. And I don't know how she pulled it off, but she got Will Ramos from LORNA to have a throat camera down.
I'm already crying. We didn't even do anything.
We want to see what happens when he screams, don't we? We want to see, because obviously Elizabeth is a vocal coach, so she's going to be very, very interested to see what happens when the camera goes down. So as are we, because I've never seen vocal cords. I'd like to see them. Anyway, before we jump into this reaction, if you do actually like my videos, then please consider hitting like and subscribe. And the link to this video will be down in the description for anyone who wants to check it out by themselves. And I hope Elizabeth is okay with us using her video. Right, let's get into this. Let's get my headphones on first. I'm not even ready. Not even ready. Look at that. What it is. Well, why is... I've just pressed the middle of it by accident. Take two. Forgot what I was going to say now. Anyway, let's get straight into this. See exactly what's happening in Will's throat when he screams. I was going to say we're doing it on live. Doing it on live stream, so we will have some interactions with people on here as we go through. Right, let's go.
You're gonna get some over here, okay? Okay. You are nice and numbed up now.
Oh, they're numbing him. Okay.
Yes, lovely. Good. Gotcha.
Horrible.
Good.
Are you regretting this trip yet?
Why did I come here?
You're about to see your inside.
Just look at my freaking boogers falling out of my nose.
Yes.
That's not even boogers, it's medicine. But...
Just lidocaine. It's also got phenylephrine in it, so it's gonna make your sinuses feel nice and open.
Oh,
I'm already
I'll have to get me some of that. I get sinus trouble. Sinus trouble.
crying. We didn't even do anything.
Just wait.
Don't say that.
I can't.
Don't say that.
It says there, on February the 19th, 2022, the charismatic voice and Will Ramos met in Salt Lake City. This must be today that Will Ramos regretted meeting Elizabeth, because now he's got shit up his nose and he's going to have a camera down his throat, which is not going to be very comfortable.
It's nice to meet you officially in person.
Okay.
Hello. How you doing? Boom. Wow. Look at this. Holy shit. Look at all the wood. I love the wood finish everywhere. It just smells like a nice Airbnb. Wow. Look.
Is this Elizabeth's house?
But is it real?
Is it? I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it's real.
How's it going, guys? So I just made it to Salt Lake City today. I met up with Kirk and Elizabeth. We just went over all the things that we're gonna get done for tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie, a little nervous originally, but I think it's gonna be a really cool experience. I've never done anything like this. A lot of people always ask me like, oh, what are you doing when you do certain techniques? And a lot of the time I think I know, but then other times I don't know if I know. And that's fine, because that's why I'm here. And I'm gonna do those things, and hopefully we'll find out, get to the bottom of what's going on inside, because I don't know.
So
There you go. He thought he knew, but no, he doesn't. I mean, he's clearly a little bit. Ooh, should I do it? Should I not? I'm going to do it just for the video, but I do feel uncomfortable doing it. You can see it in his face.
Met Will Ramos in person today, and he's pretty cool. Will's hair is
Only
even
pretty cool.
cooler in person than it looks like online. It has a life of its own. It's like poof, 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 and then when he puts it up in like a little ponytail band, it looks very chef, very appropriate for cooking in the kitchen.
So what is it exactly you're making?
All right,
Describe it.
What is it called?
It is, I don't know.
You're gonna have to
Give it a name right now. First thing comes to your mind. Boom.
Fajaka show.
Fajaka
We're making some fajaka show pasta.
Okay, dinner was garbage. At first, when I heard about this.
Don't pull any punches, Will. You could have just bigged it up and said, "Oh, your dinner was pretty good." It was garbage. Okay.
Okay, dinner was garbage. At first, when I heard about this procedure, the microphone, the camera going in my nose, I was horrified. I've had so many COVID tests, but I can't imagine going further than that. Then you're going in the brain, you know, and that's what I'm thinking in my mind. So I was horrified at first, but I spoke to my family about it, feeling a little better about it. I think getting numbed and just get it over with. I'm not gonna think about it too much. It's fine.
Oh, hang on. I didn't. I was listening to Will and not reading that thing. Flexible laryngoscopy. Procedure where a small scope is gently guided through the nasal cavity until it reaches the position to capture the images from above the larynx. Okay, so that explains why they're going through the nose. They're going to go up and down, obviously, instead of just going straight in like an endoscopy, whatever you call it.
I think getting numbed and just get it over with. I'm not gonna think about it too much. It's fine.
I have to confess, now that Will is out of the room, there is one thing I'm a little bit nervous about for tomorrow, and that's the flexible scope, the one that goes up the nose and then back down the throat, essentially. That, for me, is pretty uncomfortable.
Yes.
For most people, I don't think it's as uncomfortable. For me, when I get that done, I've just had tears going out the sides of my eyes. It's not painful. It just somehow triggers those tears. Of course, everything is totally numb inside. And so there's not any damage or something that's done during that process. But I hope that he handles it better than I do, and that it's a really good experience. So this
Which is a
just
good
like
thing.
This is a good thing.
Oh, thank
This is a good
God.
thing. Yeah, no, you'll be fine.
Well, she's one experienced,
I am
isn't she?
particularly excited to see what parts of Will's larynx are actually moving. So, you know, I'm wondering, of course, will we see much action within the true folds, within that glottis there? And how much will we see on the vestibular folds, the false folds? And then as we're kind of moving up the vocal tract, are we going to see some aryepiglottic movement? Are we going to see some arytenoid movement? There's just lots of different points along the way. And I'm curious how his sensations of the sounds correspond to that function within the larynx, and also how his sensation of sounds correspond to different shapes that he's making above, just in that mouth space, essentially.
I totally understood all them words. Totally. I know what every single little thing that was put on the screen meant. I just want to see what happens.
Respond to different shapes that he's making above, just in that mouth space, essentially.
I mean, she was telling me things like the hypoglobius fold.
See, even Will doesn't know. He can use that shit, but he doesn't know what it's called. The hypoglobius. That wasn't even a word, was it?
I mean, she was telling me things like the hypoglobius fold. I don't even know what that looks like. I don't even know what that is.
Nope.
But we're going to find out, I hope, tomorrow.
We have to talk about what kind of sounds you're going to make tomorrow.
Spooky sounds.
Spooky
Monster sounds.
I'm going to write
All
these all
them.
down.
Okay.
Okay.
Write that down.
Okay.
Spooky
So
and monster.
spooky plus monster.
Aliens.
Can you
That'd be a good
define
noise.
for me the different monsters that you can make noises of?
Okay, so we can do gutturals.
Is that a kind of monster?
That is a kind of, that is the kind of,
the guttural monster.
there's like a whole bunch of like different types of like gutturals that I can just kind of go through.
Wait,
using
really? Okay.
different types of there's also like the pig squeal, for instance. The pig squeal
Yeah.
is another, there's like several different types of pig squeals that you could do using different parts of your voice.
Okay, can you talk about the different types and list them out?
There is, okay, the way I would describe it,
Yeah.
honestly,
This is Will style.
This is Will style. For all you guys out there, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about at all. I'm just going off of.
You can just do it.
This will be more, I guess, for me for tomorrow. I imagine when we're coming back.
It's super useful because I've seen in research categories, I think usually around 4 that are defined. Sometimes there'll be an extra sort of bonus one in there. Pig squeal isn't like one of the standard categories. So
Right.
the fact that you say, oh, pig squeal, but I have a bunch within there, or guttural, but I have a bunch within there, that's fascinating because usually guttural is its own completely different.
A lot of people.
It'll just be the different pitches you can do the same noise at, won't it? That's how it'll be. Different pitches. It'll be pitches, just pitches of the same technique.
That's fascinating because usually guttural is its own completely different.
A lot of people, like when they do gutturals and stuff, they're just like, I know how to do a guttural, and you're like, all right, great, and then it's usually just like one tone, and that's all they know how to do with it. It might be part of it that I'm doing like with my mouth, which is like changing the sound, obviously. But I know that when there's certain things that I'm like trying to emphasize on, and like the certain E's or the E or like the. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's just like depending on like what certain sort of frequency that I'm looking for, it changes how I'm producing the sound inside. So
perfect. Well, let's put down a few that we can steadily recreate, maybe for some different kinds of tests.
Yeah, I call it a fry, like a vocal fry pig squeal. I think that's how I refer to it as.
Vocal fry pig squeal.
And then there is the false chord pig squeal.
False chord pig squeal. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think they're just two different, like I guess just two different
squeals
parts of your voice, and I'm just pretty much doing the same technique with two different parts of my voice. So I think it gives it two completely different sounds in itself, but they're all still pig squeals at the end of the day.
So what makes it a pig squeal?
Just that high E sound, like that overtone that you kind of hear, or just kind of almost like ear piercing kind of sound. And some people, I notice that even when I do my vocal fry squeal, like pig squeals, if you record it, it almost sounds like it's just a really high scream. Like if I'm screaming very high, you're like, what the hell is that sound? How does he do that? It's probably like a pig squeal.
So the fact that it's just like a high timbre.
Very, very high, yeah.
It's a bit like the way I'm taking this, the way I'm listening to it, and the way he's explaining things about his voice, like his pig squeals. I think of it as like, when you blow up a balloon, but you don't tie it, and then you pinch it, and it makes that high pitched noise. And then if you slacken it a bit, it goes a bit lower. I think the vocal cords are probably going to be like that, like a balloon, like the end of a balloon when you pinch it or bring it together.
Like a pig squeal.
So the fact that it's just like a high timbre.
Very, very high, yeah.
Okay,
so
that's cool. And then the false chord one, is that essentially, so you're combining the like low feeling of distortion with the pig?
with that E sound, which gives it another tone to it. It's obviously, it's a lot thicker and like bassier. But it still gives that high E sound, you know what I mean? Which I think is really cool.
Okay.
I love it when I get to just hang back and let the guys cook me dinner. It was amazing. I just got to laugh in the corner, ask questions every now and then, and be very impressed with Will's awesome chopping skills. I have to say he did a very, very nice job there. The parsley was very fine.
Will's a chef.
Rule has always been, what do you feel like today? Experiment. Do you feel? Oh, that's perfect. That looks like glory to me. Yeah. See. See.
It's like MasterChef. This.
Just smashing these garlic, getting them out of the.
Smells heavenly. It's about to smell real good up in here.
Oh yeah, and I love cooking with garlic. It's one of my favorite things. My wife likes it too, especially when you get that garlic smell stuck to your hands.
Oh, for like 4 days straight, and just, no matter how much you wash it.
No, there's a trick to that.
You're lying. Because everybody says that, but I swear to God, I've never seen it.
All right, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do.
Oh no.
Yeah. This one here. Get some garlic on your hands. Take. Tell me when your hands
is
are
it lemon
smelling like that.
I think is it lemon juice? Is it lemon juice that gets it off? I'm sure it is.
Tell me when your hands start smelling like that odious Maximus terrible smell.
But it smells so clean. I feel like
not anymore. Now it smells like garlic. Well, maybe smash it in your hand.
Yeah,
get some.
Oh, that's gonna be it. Oh yeah.
Okay.
What do I do?
Awesome. All right. You can put the garlic down now. We can cook it up. No, we're not going to cook that. So now, in the sink. No, don't wash them yet. Take your hands. We're close enough. Can you see this? This is important, people. When you take your hands, if you have a stainless steel sink, like this is a stainless steel sink, You rub your hands on the walls of the sink. Right?
Whoa!
That's serious, man. You want to get all your fingers in there. You want to rub it around. All right. Get it in there good. Get it in there good. All right. Now wash your hands.
With soap?
Yeah, no, you can use soap. Get them wet. You can get them wet. In fact, you do that again. Get them all soaked and lathered up. Rub it against the.
Oh, we're doing it again.
Yeah.
All right.
You're cleaning the sink.
Back to the,
Yeah, we've got Will cleaning the sink, really, just lying.
Yeah.
All right.
You're cleaning the sink.
Back to the,
Right in the sink. Right in the sink. You're gonna rinse all that off. Rinse it off quick. All right.
How did you do that?
Magic. So yeah, it works.
So there you go. If you have a smell on your hands that you can't get rid of, rub it on a stainless sink. Mine's porcelain. I'm fucked.
How did you do that?
Magic. So yeah, it works.
Wow.
And
That's
now
a
your
pro
hands-
tip. You can't learn that in school. I mean, maybe you could.
You can't learn that in
Probably
school.
not.
which Kids, don't stay in school.
Oh, see?
Watch YouTube.
What did you learn?
Just watch YouTube.
That is a very, very, very valid point. Just watch YouTube. Because every time I want to fix something, I just type it into YouTube and someone shows you how to fix it. Telling you. Don't need school, just YouTube.
Okay, so the garlic. So I learned this new thing today about garlic. Apparently, if you have stanky hands, you can rub it on stainless steel and it makes it less stinky. Actually, almost 100% less stinky. I didn't believe it, but now I'm a believer. Stainless steel, it is the cure. Nobody knows that. Now you know. So we got a delicious dinner. It's healthy. It smells amazing.
Do you remember what it's called?
No.
There you go.
Farfalle. Remember that one.
Farfalle.
Write that one down. But look at
Farfalle.
this. This looks amazing. I don't know if we can get the camera in over here. But boom. Look at that. I want to mix it, but
Go for it. Mix it.
Should I do it?
Do it. Yeah, do it, man.
oh man! All right, I'm
Let's
doing
do it.
I'm doing it. Oh wow.
Does look good, to be fair,
We
that.
got a lot of aromas going on in here. This is amazing. Oh yeah. Kirk put a lot of love into this meal. I was there. I ripped up the time, and it still sucked. No, I'm not gonna lie. The food was delicious. I usually make like a home cooked meal at home, but when I make a home cooked meal, it's like pasta with ragu
Yeah.
and already pre-shredded,
Yeah.
Parmesan.
It's all
This
done
was-
for you,
he
basically.
shredded it by hand. And the sauce was made with actual tomatoes. Mwah. Mamma
Cooking
mia.
from scratch. We all get processed stuff when we make stuff. It's a cheat way. It's good. It's better. It's faster. Now back to the program. Okay.
I'm very excited. I apparently found out there's a steam room in the shower. I was joking about it when I first came in here. I was like, oh, a shower and a steam room. But apparently it actually is a shower and a steam room. So I gotta see how that works. It's also aromatherapy.
The steam shower? Oh yeah, it's a big perk. This Airbnb is incredible. And I'm also going to use the steam shower in our room later. Steam is very good for your vocal folds, by the way. Instant hydration, yes. Mwah. Are you gonna practice your Louis Armstrong scream tonight?
I'm definitely gonna practice a Louis Armstrong scream. I have a friend who could do it, and if he could do it, maybe, you might hear something in the shower, Just,
Surely Will can do
you'll
it.
hear a really weird,
Some of the
like,
things that he
what is
screams,
going on?
Jesus.
It's me. Just know it's probably me in the shower. In the steam room.
Are you
Aromatherapy.
concerned about waking Elizabeth and Kirk up with rude noises in the steam room?
Honestly, I'm not too scared about waking them up with my voice. I think they are used to these kind of things.
They'd love it.
This is
They'd be like, oh my God, Ramos is in our house and he's screaming and he's waking us up to it. We don't get this every day, do you? That's what it's going to be. You would, wouldn't you? You wouldn't say, fucking hell, Will, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, what you doing? You wouldn't be like that. You'd be like, Will Ramos is screaming, listen to that, in the flesh.
just another day as a vocalist. I would be surprised. I would be more surprised if Kirk didn't wake up to to hearing some strange sounds going on.
Pregnant.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Fair enough.
There you go. I stand by what I said.
I'm totally thrilled by the huge panel of tests that they're going to be able to work with Will on tomorrow. This is really going to be mapping out so many different aspects of his voice. It's insane. I've never had that wide a panel of tests done on my voice at once. And I think this is going to be an amazing experience that gives so much information about how he's making these sounds, and hopefully gives him information that he can use to continue to develop as an artist.
It's gonna be interesting to see what actually happens within the throat, because I mean, I've never seen inside of a throat, so it really is going to be interesting.
No problem.
Right, so that was clearly edited, so maybe some of them shots weren't as good as they looked. Warming his voice up. What the fuck? Okay.
So I'm going to meet the legend Ingo Tietze tomorrow. He is apparently the god of vocal research. That's like the whole reason that we came to Salt Lake City in the first place. Apparently it is like the research hub of vocals and all that good stuff that goes on in here. So I'm going to meet him tomorrow, hopefully shake his hand, as long as he's not weird. And it's going to be a good time. Very excited.
I'm going to shake his hand as long as he's not weird.
Maybe besties.
We're definitely going to be besties. I'm going to use the 5 to 15 minutes that I have with him to become the best. I'm going to make him my best friend. He's not going to have a choice. He's going to leave, and I'm coming to dinner.
I'm also really excited for Will to get to meet Ingo Tietze. He's just one of my big heroes, and I think he's amazing. His research has shaken the vocal world so much, and I feel so honored that we get to be here and do this procedure here. I'm really excited that Amanda is going to be overseeing the procedure. She knows her stuff. I'm really excited to hear her explanation of everything. She's going to go into extra levels of detail, and I think it's going to be fun to have all of her insight along the way as we're going through the process.
Absolutely. Oh, oh, we're here. We're on the part where they're going to go and do it. I'm quite excited for this.
There are three main components of all the research that we do. Computational modeling, which is all computer simulated work. That is a program called Vox in Silico that Dr. Ingo Tietze designed. And really the whole purpose of that is to be able to manipulate parameters of the voice, starting from your lips down through your trachea, to see if we can't acoustically try and figure out what and how people are doing with their voice to achieve certain things.
So you use the whole like muscles in the mouth and everything.
Everything, yeah, from the pressure that you use underneath your vocal folds, how much airflow you have going through the vocal folds, what's the configuration of your vocal folds looking like, and then what happens all above that. And that's really where the magic of a singer comes in, is how they shape their vocal tract. The airspace, that's all you have. You know, we only have a finite control over our anatomy.
Right.
The physiology is where it gets really unique, and why we all geek out and get so excited when people are talented at doing different things vocally. It's like, how in the world do you do that?
And you can literally look at it and be
that's
like, this is exactly what is going on here.
Exactly. So
it's interesting, this. It's because, like you say, some people can sing, some people can't, some people do it wrong, some people try and scream, hurt the vocal cords and stuff. Some people, like, I think Ollie Sykes rip his once. He knackered his voice for a bit and had to let it heal before he could start singing again. And that's why he sings with his hand on his diaphragm. It's interesting, this. I want to get the camera in. Get it in now.
Computationally, we can do that. We could do things like make your vocal fold bulge a certain way and see what happens to the sound. What happens if you narrow?
Did Elizabeth laugh at bulge?
Exactly. So computationally, we can do that. We could do things like make your vocal fold bulge a certain way and see what happens to the sound.
She's being
What
naughty.
happens if you narrow a certain aspect? What happens if you give it more pressure, more flow? What does that output then look like? And from there, we can inform not only the musical arts, but also disordered voices, people who injure themselves. So that's really one of the biggest components in how the National Center for Voice and Speech started. The second is kind of what you see in front of you here, which is what we call a physical model. So we take all of this information that we know about anatomy and physiology, and we put it into structures, physical models, and measure things like the pressure and that flow we were talking about using different
That's a lot of wires.
configurations of the vocal folds. And so what we call the vocal folds, we all know those tissues that sort of vibrate. But inside, what's the really exciting part is the glottis, the space between the vocal folds. It used to be thought historically that we wanted this big collision of your vocal folds, and we wanted your vocal folds to touch tightly. And that's what was creating this robustness in the sound. What we've actually found is that's counterintuitive. We actually want there to constantly be this space where the vocal folds are just briefly touching, vibrating, and that's creating the sound, the buzz.
Is anyone else thinking that Will looks a little bit nervous? Because now it's obviously time, and he's going to have that camera up his nose.
Everything else cool artistically that we hear is happening above, and that's what we'll look at today with you.
That's really cool.
So these are three-dimensional models of different glottises, different configurations of the vocal folds. And then what we do is we reverse pressure and flow and measure on these pressure transducers here what's happening at the level of the vocal folds, at the glottal level. Because invasively, what that would mean is I would have to stick a needle in through your throat to measure that stuff. And no one is willing to do that.
No,
Let's-
definitely not.
Let's do that today.
Maybe next time.
So then we
That'd be like something out of Chicago Med, when then someone can't breathe and they say, you're going to have to cut the throat. Just shove a pen in or something to save the life.
Definitely not.
Let's do that today.
Maybe next time.
So then we talk about research ethics, and not a lot of
Kirk's
people
trying to
sign
kill
up for
Will.
that.
I can imagine why.
Here's the airspace between your vocal folds, and each of these are different places where we can take measurements, pressure point measurements. So assuming this was the surface of the vocal fold, right? If we're looking from the top down, and we'll have a better understanding of that once you're actually able to look inside yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We can then measure all of these different points on both vocal folds. And we measure both of them because there's asymmetry naturally within the human body, which is the beautiful part.
Right.
Because nothing is symmetrical.
We were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah.
You're like, don't be surprised. You find
Yeah.
out your voice is like
I told her, I was
upside
like,
down for some reason.
I really get nervous when people haven't seen themselves for the first time like this. Because
Me.
Well, we're all partly asymmetric. If we divide ourselves down the middle, left side is not the same as the right side, because we can see that whether our face is on a camera or in a mirror. All of a sudden, we don't look the same one way or the other. But how much asymmetry can we create, and can we actually develop that and culture it? That's phenomenal as far as I'm concerned.
These look crazy. I guess they're all different
they're
too.
really
I can see they're all shaped.
boring from the standpoint of, like, you look at this and you're like, what is that? But the configurations are what matter. That
That's
airspace
incredible.
is what really is making the difference in voicing.
And so all of these are different, I imagine. They're all different, very, very slightly.
Exactly.
Are they modeled after voices that you've worked with?
They're actually modeled completely off of Ingo, Dr. Tietz's work
Really?
from Vox and Silico. So everything that they have done in
Okay.
the computer is what's informed this. The work that I'm doing right now is actually looking at, for the first time ever, in vivo through dynamic MRI, what these configurations look like. And so I put people like you into a scanner and have them vocalize, and then take measurements from them anatomically, so we can see in real life what's happening versus with the camera in the nose.
Yeah, and the MRI would give you a lot more detail in the.
It's interesting. It gives you more detail holistically.
Will's
from,
nervous.
the
He's
top to the
nervous.
bottom,
He's
and
like-
you can see everything, but the resolution at the level of the vocal folds isn't anywhere near what we're going to see.
He's looking very, very humble and very quiet and like what they're going to do when they put this camera in me. It's a natural reaction, though, to be afraid of the unknown, isn't it? You know, if you've never done before, and someone said, I'm going to stick a camera up your nose, you're like, when you like you said before, when you're thinking of them COVID swabs that go up, it's like, you know what I mean? It's horrible. But obviously they're going to numb it. But, you know.
Because they're moving, and they're moving so quickly. You know this. I mean, even just as you're speaking, your vocal folds are moving 200 times per second.
Yeah.
And one, that's way too fast for the human eye to even see, let alone try and capture on a frame rate of 30 times per second only. Like, that just isn't giving us the whole picture. So we have to sort of use this integrated model to even begin to understand voicing.
You know, one of the things that we can't answer as a speech pathologist or a scientist ever is sort of how a individual keeps themselves vocally healthy, from preventative measures like their day-to-day vocal hygienes, although that word is argued, but things like his reflex precautions in hydration, but also when he's singing, what type of safety measures does he have in place for himself to sort of prime his system to know, ooh, that didn't feel so good, or what could I do to make this different?
I've got a really, really good safety technique for when people are singing to protect themselves. What I do is I put noise cancelling headphones on, and then when I sing, I can't fucking hear it, so I'm not killing anybody. That's what you usually should do. Put ear defenders on when I sing, because then you won't hear the shit that comes out of my mouth.
I'm a system to know, ooh, that didn't feel so good, or what could I do to make this different? I would love to hear Will sort of speak as a vocal user to what am I doing in those moments? What's going through my head to keep myself safe? You're gonna get some over here, okay? Okay. You are nice and numbed up now.
Oh,
yes, lovely.
That
Good.
tasted
Gotcha.
horrible.
Good.
Are you regretting this trip?
I can sympathise with this. Not up my nose. I've had an endoscope before to check on like pain in my stomach, which was turned out to be like acid reflux, and they numb your throat with some spray like that, and it feels like you can't swallow or nothing. It's freaking horrible. But up your nose, I can imagine that being weird.
Yeah.
Why did I come here?
Just look at my freaking boogers falling out of my nose.
Yes.
That's not even boogers, it's medicine.
It's just lidocaine. It's also got phenylephrine in it, so it's going to make your sinuses feel nice and open.
I'm already crying. We didn't even do anything.
Just wait.
Don't say that.
I can't.
Don't say that.
I'm just kidding. I promise. The scope can come out at any point.
Cool.
Okay, so it's going to go in about that far.
What do I do with the boogies in there? Do I just suck them in?
They're just going to hang out.
We're going to see them.
Yeah.
We're going to see
You
them.
don't have that much. It's the decongestant that's making you kind of feel like that.
Yes.
So this is a little bit of lubricating jelly. It's just going to help it slide into your nose a little more comfortably.
Am I numb yet? Are we there?
He's nervous.
How do you know?
Because I know how.
He's nervous because he's breathing and he's asking questions. How do you know? How do you know? I mean, he can see. He's very, very uncomfortable with this at the minute.
Into your nose a little more comfortably.
Am I numb yet? Are we there?
You're there.
How do you know?
Because I know how quickly the medicine takes. What does it feel like in the back of your throat? Like it's kind of tricky to swallow?
Literally as soon as you said that, I felt that.
Good. All right, so that's the strobe light. You can kind of see it flickering there on my glove.
Cool.
And here I'm just going to white balance this so that we get kind of as true of color as we can of the throat. All right, go ahead and put that microphone up on you. You guys good?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to take a look over here, okay?
Wow, swallowing is crazy.
Yep, swallowing is
How long
going
does
to
it
feel
go
crazy.
on for?
5 minutes. Oh, the numbing will last about 20. Good. So we're just inside your nose here, twisting through.
Wow.
There we go. We are now at your palate. So this is your soft palate. And you're going to go ahead and say E. Good. Good.
That's
Now
right at the
an
back of your
S
throat
sound,
there,
like
isn't
a
it?
sh or
It's not gone in yet.
good, and breathe. Now we can see the passageway through his nose opening. Go ahead and alternate E-C, E-C, E-C.
Easy, 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 easy,
How about P,
easy.
P, 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 P.
P, 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 P.
That's weird.
Good. Hamper, hamper, hamper.
Hamper, 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 hamper.
Beautiful. Palate looks great.
Thank
you
God.
breathe through your nose. Okay.
Now we're going through that opening so we can see Will's larynx. I'm going to say, because that bit at the back looked like the very back when you open your mouth, that soft bit right at the back, that's what that looked like to me as well.
Hopefully the
I'm going to
worst
say they're not
part's
all the
over
way
for you.
in.
This is the pressure part.
Wow.
Beautiful. You look great. Go ahead and swallow.
Thank God. Whoa.
Swallow again.
Oh.
You're doing really well. The magic school bus into the back of your throat. Good.
That's got to be
something's in
uncomfortable.
there.
That.
Yes.
Something's going on in there.
Beautiful. So I'm just going to take a look around here for a second. Go ahead and stick your tongue out at me. Good. So we can see under here are the vallecula, the little spaces underneath that epiglottis. Puff
Wow.
up your cheeks for me. Good. Go ahead and swallow really quick. I gave you so much numbing medicine.
Oh my shit.
Good.
Jesus Christ.
Go ahead and puff up those cheeks again. Good. And then we can look in here into the piriform sinuses.
Wow.
Excellent. All of these beautiful spaces. Your tissue looks great. Breathe.
See them little bones and stuff opening and closing with the slit in it. It's weird.
All right. And I'm going to just touch that there. Good.
They look like bones. If they're not bones, it could be cartilage.
One more swallow for me. Good. Now I want you to warn me if you're going to swallow, okay?
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and say E.
Wow.
Good. And bring that microphone down just a little bit. There you go. And again, good. I want you to do that high now. Really loud.
Like as high as I can go?
Yep. Good. And hold it high and loud and then go high to soft.
Like high and loud, so.
Yep. Good. Can you stay high and
Oh,
soft?
it's
Softer? Okay. Awesome.
he's laughing. It's just, it's funny. That bit was funny. It was just, I mean, seeing that, the way it was rippling and stuff when he was going like harder to softer, and then when he laughed, it just did that. It was just, it almost like it was clapping. It was funny.
Okay. Awesome. Perfect.
There you go. It wasn't bones. It was cartilages, which you said the second time.
Good. One more time, clear the throat. Beautiful. And now I want you to suck in. You're going to do this. Go. Yeah, good. Good. And just breathe.
That's weird,
really
isn't it?
Softly now we're going to do that. Beautiful. Okay, I am done with all the boring stuff.
Cool.
You guys go to town. I'm just going to hold this and try and stay as far out of the way as I can.
It's going to be interesting to see the difference between obviously doing the clean E's and then the P's and stuff compared to him doing the growling, the "Arr!" and the high stuff that he does. It's going to be really, really... I want to see what his voice does.
Okay.
Do I still tell you when I'm swallowing?
No, I'll be out of the way for the most part. I'm not as close to your vocal folds this time.
Thank fucking God. I felt crazy. I was like, this is kind of cool, but also
Really
kind of
uncomfortable.
horrifying at the same time.
Just wait till you see it.
Yeah, wait till you see the video.
Oh, God.
It's pretty awesome. I have pig squeal vocal fry.
Pig squeal vocal fry.
Holy twist.
Okay, hold on one second.
Notice that Amanda is shaking her head because she saw something totally mind-boggling. Those things there, where he's, say that was the things that open out and in. They sort of twisted like that. That was weird.
Okay, hold on one second. Elizabeth, will you come over here, hit this brightness button, go to the X loom. Yep, to your left. That one. Yep, hit that button. Let's get it brighter. Ah, that's better. Hold on one
crazy.
second, Will. Go ahead and swallow, yep. Okay, good. Go for it.
Ooh. Do they twist together like a yin yang?
All right.
Not
cool.
comfortable with the scope that close. But
Definitely not, but that's cool. Look out here.
Different? Okay.
Want to do pig's squeal false chords?
Looks pretty much the same. It looks pretty much the same, but it looks like it's bouncing more, and which is kicking the saliva up. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, the actual movement of the muscles looks exactly the same.
Anything else?
Do you want to do a different kind of pig's squeal tones?
Yeah, I'll just do a bunch of.
Wow.
Cool.
How far he canters to his left and then pulls the epiglottis to the opposite side is amazing to change the shape. We're going to look at it more.
Cool.
Do you want to do that one more time?
Ooh. It says the twisting motion, but I noticed that the very first, because when he was doing it first, they were just opening and closing like that, and then you get that little bit that was the flickering like that, and then it was going slower, and then you could instantly see the difference where it closed up. Everything just twisted together. It was like, whoa.
Okay.
Cool.
How about some gutturals? I have lowest to highest singles and slides in there, so.
All right, so lowest to highest. So.
Wow. See it opening up a bit.
Cool.
I mean, even though the thing is the same, similar sort of twisting motion, the way the saliva's bouncing up is different every time he goes higher, because obviously there's more air coming through.
Cool.
Amazing.
Do you want to do any other gutturals? Singles, slides?
So a slide was what?
Some slides.
We'll do it for like mids. We'll go, I guess, what you would consider a guttural. So. Oh, that's deep.
Yep, sorry.
You're good.
Hold on 1 second, swallow for me.
Wow, this is difficult.
Uh-huh.
It's weird with the thing in your
Swallowing is definitely crazy.
Yeah.
How we doing?
Good.
Are you waiting for me? Oh, I'm waiting. I look at you. I'm like, all right.
Any other gutturals you want to do?
We'll go to the. Actually, I really want to try the. Before we start doing more gutturals, the tea kettle screams.
Tea kettle,
I would
okay.
love to see what that looks like.
Awesome. Tea kettle it is.
This might be really crazy because I don't.
If you notice what looks like two bars beneath the epiglottis, these are called lingual tonsils. Right, okay. It's educational.
Love to see what that looks like.
Awesome. Tea kettle it is.
This might be really crazy because I don't even know what's going. I barely feel what's going on in here. So. Whoa, whoa. That feels crazy with that thing in there.
Whoa!
Oh, and the numbing, I feel so much mucus back.
That flap, the crescent-shaped flap, that goes round this time.
Oh, and the numbing, I feel so much mucus back there.
I wish that you knew what my heart was doing right now, how cool this is.
All right, do I gotta get some mucus out of here?
You're good. You're just filling my scope.
I'm sorry.
Do it. You do you.
Wow. Instead of just them bottom parts twisting, the whole thing twists round. Will is creating constriction much higher in the vocal tract for this sound, so the end of the stroke camera can sometimes be felt more or make it difficult. Obviously, because it's higher up. Yes, and she said she was staying away from him until she went deep, and she went, oh, that's deep. But, you know, wow. That's crazy.
You ever seen anything like this?
No.
Hell yeah!
No.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And then we're back, and here we are. Normal tea kettle squeal.
Wow.
So freaking cool. My face is hurting from smiling.
Cool.
See, and then they do say, like, you've got to build your muscles up, don't you, to sing, scream, fry, whatever you're doing. And then that there just proves it, because when you see it, when you just see people talking, or like just the thing moving, ha 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 ha, that's all you think the vocal cords are. The chords are just things that's doing that. But when you see all these little screams and different bits are twisting left and right, and wow.
This feels so crazy. I feel like I have like a lump in my throat.
You literally have a black cord with a camera on it.
Cool. Oh, a little deep, little deep.
Okay, sorry.
You're good, you're good. All right.
I have, take your option. We have fries, tunnel vocals, tube and throat singing. This is Hellsound Goblin.
Oh, let's do tube and throat singing into a normal just scream. So.
So everything's just shaking. Oh, that's crazy. Right, so every time there's fry or rasp on it, them two balls of cartilage come together as well. Whereas his clean voice is just them two little flaps. That's it. Oh, it's crazy. This it's. I start to like understand what they're doing now when they say use certain parts of your voice. I don't know how to do it, obviously, but I mean, I know what they're talking about when they talk about it. This is a different kind of tube and throat singing, which doesn't engage the false vocal folds. Instead, it uses the true vocal folds and shapes in the oral cavity to create overtones. Okay.
Cool.
So freaking awesome.
So I guess we'll go to just a normal average scream for me.
Sure.
Wow. Wow. Everything. It's weird because you see that bit and then everything just goes sideways and clamps down. It's this is really freaking intense. Yeah. It says, look at the lingual tonsil and epiglottis shift. And I mean, I didn't know the names of everything that was in there, but I mean, I can see everything's freaking moving. Wow.
Sweet.
Tonsils. Lingual tonsil.
Area epiglottic folds
Yeah.
vibrating mainly.
Holy
and
cow.
Completely turned
Yeah.
so that they go vibrate in opposite direction.
Amazing.
Tell me more good things about myself.
You are amazing.
Can you give it to me already?
You are a unicorn, my friend.
All right. So let's see. We did some of that. What else you got on that list? Let's do some close mouths.
Yeah, let's try your closed mouth.
Wow. A lot more air in there. I think there's a lot more air in there because it's not escaping to close the passage up. It's creating like an air vacuum, I reckon, in his mouth because his mouth's closed.
Cool. I don't know if that looks any different, but I don't know if it's just some.
It did look different. It was more open.
Oh God.
Your numbing might be wearing off on you.
That's good. That's good.
You're okay? Keep
Yeah,
going?
we're good. We're good.
Okay.
This is hell sound.
Cool.
That's incredible.
It's more of like the pitch goblin, but
You're going to hate me. Do that again, though, and I'm going to try and get closer. If you don't tolerate it, I'll back up, okay?
Wow. That flappy bit more.
cool.
That is like a commercial. With like the light flickering, the strobe light.
Isn't that a Sesame Street song?
That's one of our songs.
It's like Sesame Street song. That's one of our songs.
That's one of our songs. Oh, we're deep. It's cool. It's cool. No, that's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna do some goblins without the pitch.
Okay, yeah.
Soul top end.
Tunnels. Oh, that feels crazy with the mucus. I feel like I need to clear it, but
You use your epiglottis a lot in this sound, so I'm trying to get over it, and I'm being unsuccessful. That's why you're feeling it more.
gotcha.
So,
Ooh. I'm gonna do some false chord versions of that.
Wow.
how the heck you're tolerating me getting this close while you're making these sounds is beyond me.
It's beyond me as well, but we're just going for it. So
Feeling it.
I may have a
You
fat
are.
booger in my nose,
You don't.
but thank God.
You
Don't look.
No one can see your nose.
Don't
because
look.
I'm
Everyone's
blocking
looking.
it.
I told nobody to look. Everyone looks. What else we got?
Pitch false pulse. Did we do that yet? I don't think we did that.
From your fingertips.
Wow.
Let's warp into its pleasure.
Wider. It's wider.
Cool. Do you want to try the? Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, 1 second.
Nah. I don't know. This is gonna be like. This is gonna be crazy. I've never done this, so just so you know, we're kind of doing
we're
it.
playing.
I feel like I'm in vocal school and we're doing it. At the same time, so. Nicey skies. Nicey skies.
It's not quite twisted as much.
Yeah, no. I don't know the words. Clouds of white. The blameless indeed.
Woo! Cool. Go ahead, swallow.
I think that's all the ones.
Swallow again.
Ooh.
I know, let's... Can we get him a little sip of water, actually? He's just getting dry back here.
Do I sip with?
You can sip with this in your mouth. We'll watch it as it goes down.
He's not sure, is he?
Ice cold water. Here it comes. Ah, there it's gone.
Oh, I didn't hit record on the camera.
Oh, you're fine.
I don't believe
was
you.
like,
I don't believe
gosh.
anything you say anymore.
You're my record guy. Do you want to try and sing the chorus or something? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were gonna do that.
Let's just watch something a little dynamic.
Wow.
Oh, also we didn't do that.
It's crazy how all that twists together.
I have a really nasally scream that's like my high,
Sure.
which is probably why I'm having trouble right now. Woo, that feels crazy.
All your sensation is coming back at this point too, so you're just doing this.
That's as good as that's going to
Anything
be
else
with
you
this
wanna
thing in
see?
my nose.
You're done. You are a champ.
Don't look at me! Don't look at me!
Well, being able to scope Will was probably one of the most unique experiences I've ever had as a speech language pathologist. It's not often that you get someone so vocally talented to come in and be able to capture online, live, all of the artistic behaviors that they're capable of doing within their larynx. I was talking to Will at one point when I was explaining the anatomy and saying how isolated in speech language pathology, in speaking, it can be when we look at the larynx and we forget about the capabilities and the capacities of this wonderful organ to quickly switch between so many different patterns and create this beautiful sound on an entirely different spectrum than what we hear in a speaking voice. And I think oftentimes we assume that things like metal or screaming or harsh vocalizations leads to damage or irritation, edema, erythema, all of these.
No, it's like when you go to the gym and you're lifting weights, and the first time you go, it's sore. But the more you do it, the more you get used to it, and your muscles don't hurt as much. It's the same with your voice. That's what she's going to say now.
Leads to damage or irritation, edema, erythema, all of these sort of words or semantic language to suggest that someone is harming themselves with a certain vocalization pattern type. And I think today we saw something so polar opposite of what the assumption has been, that this person not only is capable of harsh vocalization, but in one of the most safe ways that I've ever observed, by utilizing different tissues, taking breaks, phonatory breaks, using his breath, all of these techniques that he intricately uses together simultaneously in seconds to create a sound that by a lot could be assumed as painful or damaging. And it wasn't anywhere near that. In fact, you saw someone with vocal health superior to anyone. You could have picked him off the street and he could have been a novice voice person and we would have thought nothing. He didn't have excessive muscle tension, which is something that I think a lot of people would assume with this type of vocalization. He didn't have nodules, lesions, lumps, bumps anywhere in the system. In fact, the mucus that I think we saw was the result of the numbing that we had done and him not being able to maybe swallow as frequently as he would have liked. We saw someone with completely normal vocal health tissue doing incredibly demanding vocalizations. And I've honestly never seen anything quite like it.
If I see nasty things, what are you trying to say?
Nasty.
Right now,
That looks absolutely disgusting.
this is the opening
I
to
get
your...
it though, I get it.
This is the opening to your stomach down here, a muscle called the cricopharyngeus, and that muscle relaxes to allow food, mucus, water, etc. to go down. So it doesn't play really any role other than for you. You incorporate that into a lot of the postures and maneuvers that you do, that spacing. Okay. So here is you as you start to do some of your work.
Do I still tell you when I'm stalling? Oh, that looks insane. Why does it look like that? That felt crazy. I was like,
So this is you speaking, right? There's movement, vibration of the vocal folds, the arytenoids are opening and closing them.
I bet it's crazy for Will to see this back, because obviously he was sat to the side of it and couldn't see it. But I bet this is going to blow his mind.
Big squeal, vocal fry.
So those are your ventricular folds.
Looks like a
false
wind
vocal
tunnel,
folds,
doesn't it?
Arytenoids, and then the aryepiglottic folds.
Whoa, it looks like I'm doing one of these. Like this thing is coming in.
Oh yeah, it's like you're tilted this way, but pulling all of your tissue that way.
Whoa! It's literally like.
Yes.
What I saw was there's an asymmetry created between the left and the right of various body parts there. And now what I'm really wondering is that every person have that ability to make it asymmetric. Because for him to be able to get that strong sound and to get two tissues going against each other like this, he had to twist the anatomy a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can do that, and I don't know if all of us can do that, or whether we're born with sort of a special way of making things slightly asymmetric. Yeah.
That's so cool.
I feel so good when you just saying
Well,
that. I
you're
was like,
saying that, but we haven't left yet. They might dissect you just for something.
it's not too late.
It might dissect you.
Yeah, I think it's just lingual tissue, right? The tonsil.
That's crazy.
How much of that is the position of the scope, and how much is that actually symmetry?
That's a really good question. Part of it, what the question is how much of this is asymmetry from my camera angle, right? Because you and I weren't always square on, you have to manipulate and move.
Right.
And how much actually do you have natural asymmetry? And I think it's both. I think he's got a little bit, like I said, of the cantering or the tilting to his left just naturally, even at rest if we go back. To kind of here, he's centered, but anytime he voices, he pulls just a little bit there to his left side. And then the epiglottis, he swings and pulls muscle and tissue the opposite, the counter opposite way of where his arytenoid cartilages are going. And that's the side that he curls his epiglottis to as well when he narrows the vocal tract.
I know what she's talking about. I ain't got a fucking clue.
What she said.
These are all normal anatomical things, structures that your body incorporates and uses as part of the tissue that it's vibrating to create some of your sounds.
So I'm wondering if I got my tonsils removed for some crazy reason, at a tonsillectomy or whatever it's called, would the whole scream completely change? Because what you're saying is like I use my tonsils, I guess, for part of my tonality.
It's a great question. Yes. The simple answer is anytime that you're going to remove a tissue in the back of your throat, it's going to change your sound a little bit. How dramatic is that? That depends on each person.
I see.
And it comes down to, again, what are you utilizing? Is majority of your sound coming from that? Absolutely not. Is it playing a role? Sure. What is that contribution? I don't know what percent or if we could even capture that necessarily.
We're here for science.
But enlarged tonsils or tonsils that get infected a lot or have virus and cause constant issues for people, that consequence is far greater than them losing a little bit of their sound quality.
Right.
So for them, it outweighs, right? The benefit outweighs the cost for them. But it's definitely a consideration that most people who are professional voice users take into consideration. Is that something you need? Absolutely not. You're
Thank
healthy.
God.
This is all normal. Nothing that we're seeing here other than being absolutely amazing in the abilities and performances.
Thank you.
Is just brilliant. It's normal though.
Well, that was a great experiment. I'm glad you invited me to be part of this. It was really a joyful thing to see how many different ways sounds can be produced in our airways. And from a scientific point of view, the thing that to me is most exciting is how many different sound sources can you engage at the same time. You know, we have the true vocal folds and we have the false folds, and then we have the ariepiglottic folds, as they're called, and then we have the tip of the epiglottis rattling around against the back wall of the pharynx. And all of these things can be coordinated as we have seen. And the thing that I question the most is how can all of these sound sources be engaged simultaneously with the same air pressure? Because we have only so much lung pressure, and we have to divide that lung pressure across these different sound sources as they're going together. And Will did such a beautiful job of coordinating all that tissue in motion. It's going to take us years to analyze that and to try to model it with a computer.
That's the difference. So, I mean, everybody's body structure is different. Everyone's anatomy is different. Even though it's made up of the obviously everyone's got a heart and fucking whatever and all the organs and stuff, but certain things move better. Some people are double jointed. Some people can do... what's it called when they fucking bend their hands on the back? Contortionists. And some people can do that, some people can't. Some people can bend in half, some can't. And I think it's the same with your vocals. You've either got it or you haven't. And it's one of them. That's what I think, anyway.
It's going to take us years to analyze that and to try to model it with a computer.
It's mind-blowing. And I think, especially outside of the arts, you know, with people who just utilize their voice for speaking, oftentimes are naive to the fact that the voice, the body, the human body can do these types of things. And the big question now still remains, we saw it, but how does Will do that? You know, how do we begin to understand the control that a person who's vocalizing has? You know, he can even talk to you about it. I don't exactly know. I know I'm doing something along this, that, or the other. And you have people like Dr. Ingo Tietze who are able to sort of model these fundamentals of how the system might possibly be capable of creating this acoustic output, the sound that we perceive as voice or speech. I think it's amazing to think of where the field is going to be able to go with the incorporation of talents like Will, allowing us to study from him, to learn from him, to being open to doing crazy, goofy things with a scope in his nose, and Elizabeth for sort of bringing these two worlds together through the charismatic voice. You know, it speaks to the arts and the science, and we have to do both. We need these worlds to come together to understand, to learn from one another, and maybe begin to hit the tip of the iceberg on what is human.
You know, kudos to Elizabeth and Kirk for putting that together, and obviously getting Will to come down and be such a good sport to do that, because I don't think having something in your nose like that is something that you particularly want to do, because it's bad enough when you get something stuck in your throat or whatever, but that was really, really interesting. You know, I would have loved to have seen that with Chester Bennington, because he apparently had something unique with his voice as well, some triple layered thing or something, and that would have been really, really interesting as well. But to see Will Ramos knowing what this guy can do with the high pitched squeals, the low pitched squeals, the gutturals, the, you know, everything else, it was really interesting to see how he manipulated his own throat. And it was I'd never seen the inside of a throat before. I'd never seen the inside of a throat, and it was really, really weird to see that. And then when you see what he was doing as well, it was like, wow, that was wasn't even bored one little bit of that. I was really, really interested in what they had to say and stuff, and now I've learnt what certain parts of your throat's called as well. I'll forget tomorrow, but I mean, as for now, I know that the vocal folds I'm not going to start talking about epiglottises. I sound like a fucking doctor, and I won't. Probably points at the wrong thing. But yeah, that was a really, really good video. Really, really good video from the Charismatic Voice. And if you're not supporting her, go and subscribe. We like to support our fellow content creators, as people say. Anyway, if you like my videos, then please hit like and subscribe, and I shall see you guys on the next one.